very good morning to everyone. A good morning, Director Sir, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, Dean Welfare, Dean Student Welfare, Professor Dr. Rashmi Gujarati, our guest, Vincent Thomas, all the respectable faculties, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to extend to you all my warm greetings on behalf of Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies. I, Dr. Garima Singh, feel privileged to welcome all to this webinar on the topic soft skill development. Now, I would like to invite Dean Student Welfare, Professor Dr. Rashmi Gujarati, ma'am. Please take over the session.
Yes, good morning and good morning, Chairman Sir, Director Sir, my colleagues and dear students and our guest, Mr. Vincent Thomas. He is here to guide our student about the soft skills. As we know that what are the soft skills, it is very important in the professional line. Soft skill is related with the personality traits, behavior, interpersonal skills that we use to interact with other peoples. In the workplace, they represent our ability to work effectively and with others. It is for this reason that this skill is very important in the employees. And if we go and see that according to the Society of Human Resource Management in 2019 State of the Workplace Review, soft skill represent the top three missing skills among the job applications. So this is very important when the people want to get a job. So this soft skill are not only usually used, it is a specific profession, rather they related with our professionalities. As such, they are highly transferable skills and it is less tangible than hard skills. They can still be learned and developed, and employers will value any qualification you have that demonstrate a willingness to improve them. So today with us, our guest Vincent Thomas is from Indore, and he is going to guide our students that how the soft skill is very important in their life and how they can be used this. So I would like to give a welcome. Please accept our welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. Now, now we have with us Vincent Thomas, life coach, managing director of Sci- of Cynoshore and Peso Packing Soft Skill Training Indore. So, basically, he is an emerging name in the field of soft skill training and corporate training. He is awarded with National Excellence Award 2019 for his contribution in education industry. He has been working in this field over 12 years as a trainer. He is passionate towards training. That is the USP of his training. Because of this USP, the training sessions are more interactive with the practical life examples. He has delivered a career guidance session in over 170 institutions, including schools and colleges. He has successfully trained more than 2 lakh 50 students for spoken English, soft skill development, and accent neutralization. He has counseled more than 2,400 students and helped them to attain a good career path. He is a registered trainer with corporate clients like Z Black, CIT, etc. He has taken sessions in various colleges like IIM, Symbiosis Indore, International School of Business Administration, etc. Now, I would like to request Vincent Thomas to talk about the topic soft skill development. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, without much delay, let's start with the topic which I would love to talk about, that is soft skills. So, before starting, I would love to talk about my background so that I can help you guys understand why specifically I'm talking about soft skills and from where did I get this nag of being a trainer and how I identified myself and came into this field. So, talking about soft skill, this is something which I learned at a very early age when I was in my school, that interacting with people is very important. And when I say very important, I mean that you can win battles even if you don't have any sword. You can win battles just by your soft skills, the way you interact with people, the way you talk to individuals, the way you maintain that bond with people, that creates magic. And trust me when I say I'll not keep this session to be very boring. I would love to have it interactive. So like anytime you have any doubts, please flung me with all those questions. I would be more than happy to help you out with it. And I will give you just basic mantras so that it can help you, guide you. I would not tell you those areas where you will not be able to incorporate things. We'll be talking everything practical today. So my motive is not to bore you. My motive is to give you insights regarding how soft skills can assure your career path to be at the desired place where you want to be. Now, talking about this, let me first part which we talk about is what is exactly soft skills. So as ma'am rightly said that it is about character traits, interpersonal skills. Now when I talk about character traits, it has always been discussed that can character be transformed or can character be changed of individuals, because there are traits which we learn from our parents, there are traits which come genetically with us. Like I'll give you my example. Now, why I would give you my example, because I feel that if any example told to you, and if I am saying something out of the blue talking about XYZ person, it would be not worthy than if I have not incorporated it in my own life. So when I early in my schooling days, I was not a good scholar student. I was never a good scholar student. Like I used to get only passing marks. But there is a short story behind it. When I was in my fifth class, I was studying in a school which was well reputed, and till that time, that school was MP board. And when it was MP board, what happened was I used to get around like top 10. I was there in top 10. And then suddenly what happened? The school got an affiliation of CBSE board, and everyone around me, like teachers, parents, tuition teachers, for you to pass now. It is a very difficult thing. And I started listening to them. My listening skills was very good. I started listening to them. I listened to them saying this, that it is tough, 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 it is tough. And I started believing it. And because I started believing it, I got supplementary in my sixth. I got supplementary in my sixth in science. I passed my supplementary, went to seventh. I was still listening to them. But if you have got supplementary in your sixth, it will be difficult for you to pass your seventh. I listened to them. And then in seventh also I got supplementary, but I didn't get supplementary in my science. I get supplementary in social studies. I went to eighth, and if you have got supplementary in sixth and seventh, dear, it is very difficult for you to pass your eighth, because eighth is comparatively more difficult as compared to sixth and seventh. I was listening to them when it came to eighth, like till my half yearly exams. But then after my half yearly exams result came, and then everything happened. I failed in 2 3 subjects, and then eventually one of my faculties, she came, and she used to teach us science, and she came and she literally scolded me for something which I never did. She like laid an allegation on me, stating that you might have done such a thing. You are like this. You don't study. You are not focused on anything in your life. You will stay in this class forever. And I felt very bad on that day. And that bad was so bad that I became aggressive that day. I went home. I threw my bag on the table, and I was very, very, very angry because I didn't like her words, the way she behaved with me in the class. And just to take revenge from her, I studied. I studied and I got 86% marks. And that was an eye opener for me. Like right now, if I recall my past, that was an eye opener. Because I realized that in sixth, I could have done better, but I didn't because I was listening. In seventh, I could have done, but I didn't because I was listening. In eighth, everyone was saying the same thing, but I didn't listen to them. I did what I felt was right, and I studied. And I gave my 100%. Now, how is it related to soft skills? It is related to character traits. First of all, every one of us need to understand this, that if we all are different. Many times it happens that incorporating soft skills, we try to learn from others, but then we try to be someone else who we are not. I would always suggest you to be who you are, not to change, not to transform into someone whom you will not recognize 10 years down the line. It's better to be who you are. If you have aggression, use it wisely. If you are short tempered, use it wisely. That is where interpersonal skills come across. You have a nature, you have a trait, train it, tame it, and use it wisely. That's how soft skills can be trained. How many of you have seen those videos where a guy is around tigers and he is playing with them as if they are his pet? He has tamed those tigers. He has made those tigers realize that he is in the pack. And that's what you need to do. You might have a negative emotion also, a negative side also. Try to tame it. That is where character traits come across. And this is important for every one of us to understand, that every individual has a positive side and a negative side. It is on to us, how do we portray our negative side in a positive way to individuals. I am Vincent Thomas and I'm very short tempered. But over the past 10 years, I've trained my short temper into a source of energy to do something and to achieve something in my life. I don't allow my short temper to spoil anything around me. And that's how soft skill helps you to be a better person. Now, soft skill is about character traits, interpersonal skills, and that characterizes a person's relationship with other people. And over the years, I have realized this, that soft skill is the epitome of everything you want to do in your life. You want to stay happy, you need to have soft skills. You want to have a good life, you want to have soft skills. You want to be successful in life, you need to have soft skills. And that's how the complete mechanism come across small things in your life which can help you to be a better person and a better soft skill, a better individual who has soft skill. Now let me talk to you about a storyline. So as it's all about me, I always love to talk about stories. Now failure is not a choice. When I talk about this, understand this. So let me tell you about a story. There is this story is about twins. A twins who had an alcoholic father. Their mother died at a very early age, and this alcoholic father nurtured them to be an elderly individual. And these two individuals chose their path. When they came at an age of 30, 35, an interviewer decided to take either of their interview to understand what impact an alcoholic father can have on. So the interviewer went to the first kid. Let's name him X. So I won't name any name. I will name it X and Y. So these are the common names which we have in a mathematics. So let's name it X and Y. So the reporter went to Mr. X. So when reporter went to Mr. X and asked him that your situation, you are in such a beautiful situation, you are successful, you have achieved so many things in life, what thing will you give credit to? And Mr. X gave a reply that I would give this credit to my dad because he was alcoholic. He was alcoholic, and that's the reason I learned what things I should not do. I learned how to manage my time. I learned how to interact with people. I learned how to maintain public skills. I learned how to achieve a balance in my life. I learned to give important the time to things which are important in my life. I learned why is it important to have a good bond with people, how to resolve conflict, when not to speak, why to speak, and how to speak to convince someone who doesn't want to listen to you. And that's how I have become successful. The reporter was very happy taking interview of the first kid. He went to the second kid and took the interview. And he asked the same question that whom do you think is responsible for the situation you are in? And the second kid was bankrupt. He became an alcoholic. He never had a good life, and he started cribbing and complaining that I would feel that the complete responsibilities of my father because he was alcoholic. That's the reason I have become like this. Because he was alcoholic, I never got time to study. He used to beat me, and that's the reason I never used to study. Because he was alcoholic, that's the reason I could not achieve anything in my life. Because he was alcoholic, I never got a chance to study in good school. I never got a chance to study in good college. I never got a chance to study in work in a good organization because he was alcoholic. Think on this. Twins having the same situation, but two different outcomes. What is important? Failure is a choice. We all choose and then we become. It's your time to choose failure or success. And rather, I would always say this, that there is nothing failure in our lives. It's always learning. We need to stop complaining and start doing. That's what the crux says. Now, let's talk about the basic attributes which are important for us to learn when it comes to the complete I would say hype around soft skills. Now, why is it so difficult for people to understand this, that soft skill is very important? The first and foremost point is time management. It is a very difficult task for individuals to manage time. Now, I'll give you one trick by which you can help out manage your time. First of all, you need to understand that what kind of individual you are. Now, before even starting this part of time, I want everyone of you to analyze that which kind of learner are you. Majorly, there are visual learners, there are auditory learners, and then there are kinesthetic learners. What kind of learner are you? I'll describe you all three patterns so that you can understand that you need to know your learning pattern, and then only you can learn anything in life. So if you're a visual learner, you observe things and then you learn. It is better for you to observe, see things on your own, uh, visualize things, and then it is easier for you to learn. If you're an auditory learner, you listen to something and you learn quickly. Like, for example, these will be the kids who sit in class, attend it, and they are able to answer the questions easily. They remember stuff very easily if they sit in the class. So for them, they are auditory learners. And then there are kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic learners are those learners who tend to do physical activity and then they learn. How many of you have seen those kids who tend to walk continuously in the hall, read content loudly and learn. These are kinesthetic learners. Visual learners are those who learn through visual aids. If you see something visually, it will be there in your brain forever. You need to understand that either of three, which are you, and then only you will be able to tap things in your life. Now, coming back to time management. Now, why I'm giving you these things, these are all interlinked. So, while I was in my school, I got till 8th, and 8th I got 80 above percent. Things were going pretty fine. Everyone felt it was a fluke that I got that much marks, but it was not an objective type questions that I went and I gave answers and I came back. It wasn't a fluke. I learned and I went. I gave the paper and I came back. By ninth, I was like into cricket team. I played state level, and I was not giving proper time to my studies, and that's the reason why I again got supplementary in my ninth. 10th, everyone was very clear that a person who has got supplementary in a sixth, seventh, and ninth would never be able to achieve good marks in his 10th, and that's what happened because somewhere I didn't stop listening to them. I got 54% in my 12th, in my 10th. My parents got a bit frightened and they shifted me from CBSE board to MP board. In MP board also things went pretty much the same. I was finding it difficult to study. Now the reason why I was finding it difficult to study and make things proper because in schools they focus more on kinesthetic learning. They make people do things, and I was not a person who would do. I am not a kinesthetic learner. This I evaluated when I went to my college, and that's the reason my graph tilted. So till 12th, again in 12th, I got 54%. Though the reason behind getting 54% was there were certain reasons. I was not well. I was suffering from typhoid, but still I got 54%. So bottom line is that what score you get is what you have got. So nothing matters how bad shape you were, how things would have gone worse. Nothing matters at all. What is on paper is on paper. But then when I started my graduation, I analyzed myself and I understood that there's something going wrong. I'm not doing things right. And then I focused that and I realized is that I am a person who is a auditory learner. So my funda is like I'm an auditory learner first, then I'm a visual learner, and then kinesthetic at the end. And trust me, I'm not a kinesthetic learner. I cannot learn while writing or doing any activity. So I'm a auditory learner and a visual learner. I would grade myself into both the categories. So during my college, I started visualizing things. I started learning things, listening to them. I used to do small things like if a 5-page question a ma'am has made us write, I would make audio clips of those questions. I would speak that question and I'll record it. And while I'm doing something, or while I'm roaming here and there, while I'm going to school, I'll put those Walkmans, cassettes, Walkman. I'll keep it on my head and I'll go to school. So even while I'm cycling, I'm listening to my own content, and there was a drastic change. I was getting somewhere around 80-85% marks in my graduation. My graduation went pretty well. I got 80% marks in my graduation. I got when I opted for my PG also, I got 85% marks in my PG. So I realized this that I was doing things wrongly. It was not just that I was not knowing how to do things. I was doing things wrongly. And while I was pursuing my graduation, so I started working since I was 18. So it was since 2006 working till now. So since 2006, even with my graduation, I started working because I wanted to learn how to manage time. And I managed it. I used to work for 9 hours and then I used to go to college for around 6 to 8 hours. And this is how I learned time management. I am not promoting this to you because at that time it was feasible for me. That's the reason I opted for it. And I learned time management with it, that how every single second is important. Now, these are the 7 tricks which you can use in your life to help yourself in managing time. Um, 90% of you have smartphones, and in that there is a feature of and knowing how much uh, screen time you had. How many of you have noticed your screen time to be more than 3 hours or 4 hours a day? Apart from attending sessions, I'm talking about, because I know many of you might have sessions online also. You might have content in soft copy, so you have to access phone. But I'm talking about leisure time. How many of you are having leisure time on your screen for more than 3 hours or 4 hours? If you have, this is the time to cut short it. There's a very old saying that you want leisure when you are young, or you want leisure when you are old. You need to decide. Your body will respond accordingly. If you tend to work hard when you are young, you would be able to spend leisure time in your old age also. But if you tend to have leisure in your when you're young, you will definitely be working when you're old. And that's how time comes. So the first thing is start your day with a clear focus. What exactly you want from this day? What exact outcome you're looking forward for? And then start your day. Many of us don't understand this, that it is not okay to just wake up and do your daily course and then come back. No, it is not. It is not a daily routine you need to work out. Like, I just need to wake up, I need to attend classes and sessions, and then I need to do my homework and then sleep. No, that's not your daily core. You need to focus that what outcome you're looking forward for on a daily basis. One. Second, you need to understand this, that what is your ultimate vision? What is your ultimate vision? When I completed my schooling, and after that, when I started being into uh, the training segment and everything, I was very clear that I wanted to be a trainer. I was very clear. So even throughout my graduation, throughout my PG, I was very clear I want to be a trainer. I was a trainer at that time also. So I used to train my fellow mates. I used to train my friends. They used to make fun of me, whom I never used to train. But then people used to ask me, Vincent, how can I help, like, work on my language? How can I do this? How can I do that? How can I do that? And trust me, talking about myself, I never got any good marks in my English when I was in my schooling. And that's an irony. I am a certified trainer for IELTS. I'm a certified trainer for TOEFL, but I never got good marks in my schooling. The only reason was I never applied what I knew. I don't want this to happen to you. And that's the reason I'm counseling you that start with the focus. What is the exact outcome you're looking forward for? Many of you might be looking forward for a package, or many of you might look forward for success. Let me ask you one question. What is success for you? When will you say that you were successful? How much amount or how much zeros do you want as a figure in a salary that you can term yourself to be successful? Give that figure a name. 7 lakh, 8 lakh, 9 lakh, 10 lakh, whatever that number may be. But define it and then run for it. You cannot find an address if you don't have a specific place to go. And that's where you need to understand everything has to be specific. So your focus should be very clear, crisp and clear. Have a dynamic task list. Now, when I say dynamic, it should not be a schedule based that after doing this, I'll do that. After doing this, I'll do that. No, it should be dynamic in nature. It should change, evolve. Why? Because our time, our life is again evolving. Situation comes all of a sudden. And then I personally don't want you to think that, okay, I was not able to complete this task, so my today's time management task is not done properly. No, it should be dynamic in nature. Whatever to-do list you have prepared for the day, take it. Go ahead. It's okay if you have not done one task. But then don't be too harsh on yourself and don't be too lenient also. Now, this is the third one, which is most important. Focus on high value activities. Now, this is somewhere many of you go wrong. So let me share you an example for this and make you understand this topic very clearly, because I learned this topic because of my life incidents. Now, I was in my post graduation, and it was my um, medieval examinations going on, midterm examinations were going on in our college, and during which the schedule was like this, that we will have a paper in the first half, that is 10 o'clock, 10 to 12 there will be a paper of 2 hours, and then there will be a gap of 1.5 hour, and around 2 o'clock we'll have second paper, 2 to 4, like this. So like 2 hours gap, and then one more paper. So after my first examination, there was a 2 hour gap, and I received a call from one of my friend that he has met with an accident. I was in a very panic mood, and I went to the dean sir and I asked that, sir, I want to go for a leave urgently because it's an emergency. My friend has met with an accident and I need to go. He asked me only one question: is it important? I said, yes, sir. He's my friend, sir. He again asked me, is it important? I said, sir, he's my friend, sir. If I don't go, who will? And again he asked, is it important? 3 times he asked me. And third time I got a little agitated and I replied, sir, if you want to give leave, it's okay. Or else let me know what exactly we are talking about. He said, go and give your exam and then come back to me and talk after your examination. I was very angry. I was like, I'll go in the examination, I'll take the paper, I'll write my name, and then I'll come out, and then I'll see that who can stop me. I was in that mindset because I wanted to go to my friend who has met with an accident. I came out, I called my friend and I said that it will take time, and because I have not got approval from my dean regarding the holiday, and I won't be able to come right now. So what can we do? Let me know. So he said that, okay, then I'll call someone else. I said, okay, see, if you need me, let me know. I went to the exam hall, and because the time was gone, he told me that he'll call someone else. I said, okay, let's give the exam. I gave the paper and I came back. And when I came back to Dean sir, and I was sitting in a very bad mood in front of him, he asked me that, Vincent, what did you do? I said, what will I do, sir? You didn't allow me to go. So I called him and I informed him that I won't be able to come. And he smiled and he said that he asked, actually, he smiled and he asked that it means that your friend has been taken to doctor. I said, yes, obviously. And doctor might have treated him well. I said, I don't know. But yes, obviously, a doctor might have treated him well. And then he asked me in a very polite manner, Vincent, think wisely. What would you have done if you would have gone there? I said, I would have taken him to the doctor. So he said that, Vincent, don't you think that you wanted an individual who can take him to doctor? It was not you who was important. And that time something clicked in my mind. And I was like, yes, he's saying something right. I'm not a doctor. I was getting agitated because I wanted to be emotionally there to satisfy my ego, which states I always say this to my friends that I'm always there for you. I'm always there for you. I'm always there for you. So I wanted to satisfy my ego on that point of time. And he smiled and said that, Vincent, how was your exam? And I said, it went okay. I would pass, I guess. And he smiled and said that this was financial accounting, if I'm not wrong, and you are not good in it. And that's the reason I didn't allow you. And even if you were good in it, I would not have allowed you because I knew that it was urgent, but it was not important. So that time clicked that many times we tend to do certain activities which are not at all important for us. They might be urgent. But it is not important for you to put your valuable time into it. You can delegate it to someone else. And that's the key thing which we all miss. That's the key thing where we go wrong. Where to deliberate or delegate the work, or where to do it yourself. We're unable to judge that. This is something we all need to learn. Minimize interruption. this experiment I also did. I would request you to do it. Like, it is very easy to switch off your mobile in night and sleep, but if you tend to switch off your mobile, or um, when you're on your vacation or somewhere, try to stay away from phone as much as you can. So recently I went to like a family trip, and I made sure that I won't use phone. So I made sure that out of 24 hours I would keep my phone on flight mode for at least 18 hours, and keep 6 hours on. That's perfectly fine, but 18 hours it will be on flight mode or it would be switch off. And that helped me to be with the family more. That helped me to do particular task and enjoy it fullest more, because I was not concerned regarding my phone. And I had informed everyone who was like in contact with me that this is the calling hour, please call in this hour, then only I'm available, and or else drop a message and I'll call you back. And this is something which I have started incorporating in my life, and I am able to have a balance between two things. In your life also, there are two things which are very important and which actually spoils the life of individuals in today's time. That is your friendship zone, your friendship life, friend bond with friends, known people, and your professional life. How much time do you give to yourself? We have time for others. How much time do you give to yourself? Doing what you like, doing what you know. That is also very important. Stop procrastinating. It is very important to understand this, that we all have this tendency. Being Indians, we all have a tendency to procrastinate. Now, why I am saying this, being Indians, there are two things which are taught to us at a very early age: to bribe and to procrastinate. Now, why I'm saying such a strong statement, to bribe? At a very early age, when we are in our school, third class, fourth class, and our parents tell us to go and fetch bread from the shop, and they give us 20 rupees note or 20 30 rupees note, and bread is of 25 rupees, and you are playing your game, and suddenly they'll come and say, "Arey, you go and bring that bread from the shop," and then you will say that, okay, then 5 rupees will be mine. And because they want the work to be done, they'll say, okay, get it done. We have taught bribe at a very early age. Even if the task is your, still you procrastination again is a very important and valuable thing. The olden era of India was a time where people used to wake up at early morning. When I say early morning, it is not 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. It's like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And that's where things was wholly different as compared to how it is today. We have a tendency of procrastinating because we tend to give ourselves leverage of not doing stuff right now, even when that stuff could have been done in 10 times better way if you would have dedicated certain more amount of time. And whomsoever is listening to me right now, I challenge you that if you have your hand, keep that hand on your heart and honestly say to yourself that how many times you have not procrastinated and how many times you have procrastinated over the past 3 or 4 months since January. And trust me, you'll get your answers that whether you procrastinate or not. It might be a small thing like changing a bulb. It can be a small thing like keeping something from one place to another. Everything is procrastination. When a thing is asked to you to do, please do it. Don't procrastinate. Limit multitasking. Now, yes, I am saying this, limit multitasking, because it is often thought of that multitasking is a task, is an activity which only genius or good people can do, who are valued in system, but this is limiting of it. Please don't get into habit of multitasking, because when you multitask, the efficiency by which you do that task is reduced to a great amount. So if you do a task focusing on it, you'll do with 80% efficiency. when you are multitasking, that drops down to 60 or 50%. So think on this, that when you're doing a task, how much mind you will have it while you're doing it. Review your day. I have a habit. I started it when I was pursuing my diploma. So like I've done a lot of things in my life. After my completion of my 12th, I did my diploma in aviation, hospitality, and travel tourism. So I had quite an idea about those three industries. And then I did my diploma in software engineering. So again, technical area is again one of my fortes. Then I did diploma in event management. I did diploma in classical music and all these things. So when it comes to reviewing your day, it is important for you to review your day, because you need to, like while going to sleep, analyze that how well your day went, and what are the things you did right and what are the things you did wrong in your day, or what are the things you could have done in some other way to get a better result. This is important. And because, well, like while I was doing these diplomas, I was going in a state where I was thinking that why am I, like, my career is like a complete mess up because I have done too many things. And then when I became a trainer and I started interacting with people, I was able to correlate with every individual. And that is where I understood this, that this is the reason you did all these things. So it was not initially clear to me, but I always believe that there is always a planning of God. If you believe in God, you need to believe Him completely. There is a planning of God when He or she chooses a career path for you. So you need to believe that. This is something which people find difficult. The second point of social skills is networking. Now, I know there are a lot of attributes and things which are involved with networking. Now, because the topic is soft skills, and in this, every topic can be dealt in sessions of around 10 to 15 sessions. Like networking itself has around 5 to 7 dimensions, and those 7 dimensions can be taken at like one session. So because it's a holistic session we're talking about right now, so I'll be giving you tips and tricks regarding these things. So networking is something which is important for every individual. You choose any career in life, any career, networking is important, because we cannot exist without people around us. Man is a social animal. Human is a social animal. So we need to socialize, and that's when networking comes into phase. Uh, it's important for you to understand this, that good networks are built on good relationship. Now, how does good relationship come into frame? One, you need to learn time management. You need to give time to relationships. You need to give time to people. Then only good relationships will develop. And how can you give time? Because we are too busy. 9 hours job, 10 hours job, 12 hours job, and still we don't have time. We are messed with all the things of office and family conditions, responsibilities, that we are not able to give time to relationships. That's sad. But to be honest, this should be one of the priorities. This should be one of the priorities. And that's how you need to find partners. The point which I've placed over here is that you need to find partners who can coexist with you, who can help you develop a mindset. This is how the mental level changes. You can't build your career or business without those. You need people to help you. Fortunately, networking is a set of social skills any smart person can learn. Now, what is networking? So, networking is about communication. One. So, when I talk about communication, it is not about Hindi, English, or any language. It's about the way you interact. What kind of way, along with your body language, what mode do you choose to interact with people? So, one is your communication. Second is, how do you make the person feel? What impact do you have while interacting? How many of you have ever realized is that you have met an individual once and then you get a vibe from that person, that whether this person is good or bad? We all have that zing, that we get that vibe from people, and that's one part of networking. We need to give positive vibes to people so that people can get associated with you, they can get attached to you, and that's when networking come into phase. It's important for you to understand that networking for you is vital. It's vital. People need to feel good about you. They need to feel that, "Arey, if once I have talked to this individual, I would feel better." And that's where networking comes. Third, so one is communication, second is impact. Third and foremost is what do you feel about yourself? If I ask you one question, that we all have attended funeral service, and whenever we attend funeral service, we all tend to talk good about the individual who has um, passed away. We all tend to talk good about people. हमने सुना है, we have listened to people this way. But let me ask you to do an activity, and it's a uh, self activity which you need to analyze about yourself. What will people talk about you? What will people talk about you? So you need to take 2 pages. One page, what will people talk about you? You'll write over there, what will people talk about you? Second page, you will say, what I want them to talk about me. And write those things. What do you want them to talk about? You want them to talk about how good you were. That's it. He was a good person. That statement can be given by any Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's not a great evaluation. I want this person to say that he added a value in my life. If this is one statement, make that person speak so. How will you do that? By networking, by laying an impact in his life or her life. That's how networking comes along. You need to be very focused regarding what you want and what you are. So on one side, you have to write all those things what you want people to talk about you, and what will people talk about you as of now. Write down that and see the comparison. And trust me, you will see a huge gap between both the pages. And people who will do this honestly, trust me, your transformation starts that moment itself. It's an eye opener for you. Like, what will people talk about you? Now, this is something which always it's a debatable topic. Why creative thinking? Creative thinking is not about being a kid, but it is about thinking like a kid. You need to think like a kid. You need to feel and believe that whatever a kid does, same thing you can do. There are no blockage. If you have heard of midbrain activation or something like there's a left brain and right brain, we all have a tendency to get influence between right brain and left brain. So if people are creative, whether people are theoretically strong, that will be decided by the neurons which are active in your brain. And this is where creative thinking comes. You can learn creative thinking, you can develop creative thinking. It is not that rocket science that creative thinking cannot be adopted. It can be learned. But then that learning process needs to be worked around. Think like a kid. Think like a kid. Why? I'll let you give you the first example. When you were a kid, you might have gone through slides, and when the slide when you go around as a kid, when you go as a kid on that slide, and when you bump the ground, at that point of time, your bumps might hurt, but the happiness to get up again and have get yourself in the queue is very important, and that's the reason you go back and climb again. So 10 times also you have gone through the slide, nothing is perfectly fine, you're happy, you are cheering up. Do it right now. Go and slide on one of the slides. Trust me, you will not go more than one round, because in the first round only you will be holding your bum. You're not thinking like a kid. I'll give you second version of thinking like a kid. When we all were kids, our parents used to throw us in air, or they used to make us sit on a height and ask us to jump, and we used to jump, and they used to catch us while doing so, and we used to be happy in that activity when they used to do it. Do it right now. Ask your parents to stand and jump from 7 feet, 8 feet height, and ask them to hold you. Will you jump? I don't think, because we all have become practical. We all have become practical. We are calculative. We're not thinking like a kid. We are practical. We're not thinking like a kid who feels that my mom, my dad will not let me get hurt. We are not thinking like a kid. We are very practical. And this is where the blockage comes. Our system, education, responsibility has spoiled our creative thinking, has spoiled us to ask questions, has spoiled us to ask why, what, and how. These three questions should be your best friend if you want to be creative, if you want to learn social skills. You need to be creative. Do physical activity. A bit of physical activity is always good to make you think. Thinking is correlated, like the time your physical activity will happen, you will breathe more, a large amount of oxygen will go into your brain, and which will help it to think in a better way. That's the reason people have a tendency, when they want to think, they go for a stroll, because while they're walking, they're doing certain physical activity, and because of which they can think. The third point is very important. Embrace boredom. We all have fear of boredom. We don't want to get bored. This lockdown was an eye opener for me, because for last several years, like a decade or so, more than a decade or so, I've never sat at home more than 8 hours. So it was like I used to come back around 10, 12 o'clock in the night. I used to have food, I'll sleep, I'll wake up early in the morning, 6 o'clock, and I'll walk out of the house, and I'll work, take sessions, work, and then I'll come back at 11, 12, and then again. This was my regular routine. And even on Sundays, similar thing used to happen, because I used to go to church on a daily basis. So on every Sunday, so the service used to happen around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So it was hardly 8 hours I used to sleep, and then again I had to wake up. And this lockdown has taught me to embrace boredom. So this lockdown has actually helped me to be more creative, to think out of the hat how things can be worked out, how I can reach people, how and what are the problems I'm facing, and how to think something different out of it. And boredom is not always an area where we feel that we will not be able to do something. Boredom is something you should embrace. Why? Because when you will get bored, then only you will get into an imaginative land, and you will start daydreaming. And when you will be daydreaming, you will tend to do or think something in a better way. In schools, we have always done that. While a faculty is teaching something which is not at all in your interest, you tend to just look at the faculty in blunt eyes, and you are in some other land. You're thinking something else. That's actually daydreaming. We have stopped doing that, because when you're learning or studying, it should not be done. But you should know how to do it, because that's where your imagination takes over. That's where you tend to think on areas where things can be incorporated. Educate yourself. Watch and listen. Creative thinking never comes from random sources. Creative thinking comes because you ask questions, because you tend to develop your knowledge regarding it. If I want to be a successful entrepreneur, if I want to be a successful HR, if I want to be a successful marketing in marketing, if I want to be a successful person in finance, I need to know the basics about it. I need to know how someone has achieved success. And that learning can only come when I watch and listen to those people. You can go through podcast, you can go through YouTube, but then make it senseful, make it count. Don't just crawl through it. Many of us has a habit. Now why I'm saying so us, I too have this habit of scrolling through Instagram reels, some for fun, some for making myself sleep. So because it has been a habit of so many years that I tend to sleep late, so that's a habit which has become, and I tend to wake up early, that is again a habit. So I anyhow I leave my bed around 6 o'clock in the morning, and I sleep around 12, 1 o'clock. So it has become an habit over the years. So it is still there. But then when I get my free time and I'm about to sleep and I'm scrolling through my phone, I try to educate myself, like what other trainers are doing, how they are right now incorporating things that I can incorporate and I can take it to the next level. I listen to them. I listen to their sessions so that I can learn from them. You need to understand this, that you need to watch and listen. Your listening skills are important, your watching skills are important. This is important. Have time for fun. You need to enjoy things. You need to uh, enjoy what you're doing. Incorporate things in your own work style, work life, and then things will become pretty good for you. It will never be bored again. You will never feel that you are out of shape or out of focus anywhere, because you're enjoying what you're doing. For that, you need to educate yourself. The most important thing, again, we have gone through 3 to 4 aspects: teamwork and conflict management. Soft skill always talks about teamwork and conflict management. uh, okay, if we go through the spelling of uh, okay, let me ask you one question before this. How many of you want to achieve success? I guess everyone, because we are interacting through Microsoft platforms, so I won't be able to listen to you, but I know you are listening to me. uh, what is that one thing you want to achieve in your life? It will be, like, it can be a physical thing, it can be a virtual thing, it can be anything. But the basic funda of everyone who is listening to me is to earn. And if you go through the spelling of earn, it is EARN. Remove N. What do you have? Ear. And what does ear do? Listening. So if you want to earn in life, you need to learn first attribute of listening. Teamwork and conflict management can be incorporated and dealt with if you listen, then speak out. Our patience level need to be increased. Any individual who is coming to us, and start incorporating in your friend circle also this, because many of your friends dispute comes because you're not listening. You're not listening to their side. You're not listening to their side of the story. Listen and then speak out. Listen and then conclude. Stop reacting and start responding. This is how teamwork can be developed, and you can avoid conflicts or resolve conflicts in your team. Gather the group. It is important for you to gather people around rather than gossiping around. Stop having a tendency to get lamplighted by gossiping. It is basic attribute that you need to gather the team, discuss in a group, so that everyone can listen to what the other person had to say. Be impartial. As a leader, it is important for you to be impartial. Stop having perceptions regarding individuals. Understand that every person and every individual has a personal life and professional life. You are gelled up with an individual because of the professional life, not because of his or her personal life. So you don't need to create a perception based on that. And it is very difficult in today's time. We tend to create perception on that. Stop doing that. Do not postpone conflict resolution. If there is an issue going on in a team, please keep it at a priority, because if that resolution is not dealt with, it would create a havoc in the team and later on result in the failure of the objective which you're looking forward for to achieve. And that's every one of us would have felt some other day. You all might have gone through this phase where you might have thought of giving a presentation. The team which was given to you, there was a conflict going on and the presentation didn't work out in the way you were looking forward for. You did all the hard work, still you got scolding or you were not appreciated by the faculty. This is where conflict needs to be resolved at the go. Never postpone it. Promote teamwork. It is important for you guys to understand this, that you need to promote teamwork. If you are not promoting teamwork, it will be difficult for you to work individually, because corporate doesn't work individually. Even the top management knows that the lower manage until unless the lower management does not work, the middle management will not be able to fetch results out of them. That is where you need to promote teamwork. You take examples of greats, you'll always find they would promote teamwork. APJ Abdul Kalam. The first crash which happened, he took the responsibility on his shoulder. When he got success, he made the team come front and take the appreciation. That is where he promoted teamwork. Broadcast praise. How many of you have gone to Pizza Hut? I guess many of you have gone to Pizza Hut or any of these chain restaurants. You'll always find two things in Pizza Hut specifically. Why I'm saying so is that Pizza Hut has a big bill, and if the customer is happy or elated, he rings the bell, and every waiter, whomsoever is there, would clap for the person who ran, clap and say thank you. Why? Because it's not about one person serving the table, it's about a whole team. The bell, the sound of it should be appreciated by all. That is where broadcast praise need to be there. Why it is important for you to broadcast the praise? Because people need to know how that individual has done, how that individual has performed. And why is it that appreciation is important? Because every individual work for three things: respect, appreciation, and money. You can get either of them. Like if you have three things in life, I'll give you three things and you money and respect. You'll always have two of them. You cannot have all three. Either you can have respect and money, so you will not have peace of mind. You can have money and peace of mind, but you will not have respect. You can have respect and peace of mind, but you will not have money. Choose your combination, and that's how you will reach where you want to be. So when you talk about soft skills, it is all about various things coming together and making or building your character. For you, it is important to understand this, that when you are developing a soft skill, you need to have small things come together as a jigsaw puzzle, and they should coexist and fit in together. One puzzle off the card and things will go haywire. So everything should sink in. If you have any questions, you can ask me right away. I'll be more than happy to answer you. You can contact me on Instagram. I have shared my handle with you. I've shared my WhatsApp number also with you. So if you have any questions regarding the presentation, please go ahead and ask me. I'll be more than happy.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge with our students. Now, I will like to ask students if they have any query.
Sir, a student asked me to share your PPT because that was so influencing. So he asked me to, if you can share your PPT.
Sure, I'll do that. I've made that PPT on Prezi, so it can be accessible by everyone. I'll
Okay.
share the link with ma'am, and then thereafter she can share with the
Okay.
people or
Thank you
else.
very much.
Yeah.
I guess they don't have any doubt because you have already told, already share your knowledge in a very right way. Thank you so much, sir, for this. Uh, now with this, I would like to invite Dr. Inderpreet sir, the convener of the event, TIES, to deliver a vote of thanks. Sir,
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me for deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable and heartwarming session, which inspired all of us and especially the participants, the young generation. I'm sure
Thank you,
they
sir.
got some profound knowledge from your session, and I thank all the participants to give us such a positive support. So before I would end, I would like to call Dr. Ashutosh Vajpayee sir. He's a senior HOD to deliver his generous aspects. Ashutosh sir.
नमस्कार नमस्कार सर
Namaskar, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Please
Good.
deliver your wordings.
आई वाज लिसनिंग दिस बहुत अच्छा कंटेंट दिया आपने एक्सीलेंट और जो बात कर रहे थे शुरू में आप फॉर दिस स्टूडेंट एक्चुअली दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग रिक्वायर्ड whatever they study in course curriculum that book na that is of no use that is not going to get a job actual job because of this knowledge only ki what you want what is your aspiration what is your goal what is the purpose of your life if that is clear to the student then only he can move further in the right direction
Agreed.
and
Agreed, sir.
excellent sir uh, very good learning for my MBA students and in future I would like to have such webinar in future also and Dr. Garima is there
Definitely.
Yeah.
continuously
yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Vincent. You have given an excellent speech, and I hope that students will learn a lot of things. You have shared your story, and that will be very much motivational story because whatever we face in our life, and when we discuss with other and we share with other, that motivate very well. So thank you very much. You have accepted my invitation and you have given a very well way to our students in the soft skill development. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, so everyone, with this, I would like to end the event. Thank you everyone for the warm support and generous thanks to Rashmi Gujrati ma'am. She brought the speaker for heartwarming session and inspire our students. Thank you everyone. You can leave now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.